What is up, guys? Welcome back. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm glad you stopped by. Today, man, it is hot outside. But when is it not hot outside in the middle of July, right? Anyway, guys, today we're going to be talking about a movie from 2024 directed by a guy named Chris Nash. He's only directed a couple of movies in a violent nature. This is an A24 horror film, guys. I mean, I don't know if anybody, A24 is probably one of my favorite independent film production companies. They really, really release some unique films. You know, it's not your typical Hollywood fare where it's a bunch of formulaic stuff and high-paid A-list actors who probably, aren't, they're phoning it in. They're not really trying. Whereas in these independent companies, the actors actually feel like they're trying to make a name for themselves, so they turn in great performances. And, in a violent nature, it's not one of those films. I mean, it's a great movie, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that it's not. It's an A24 film. It's an independent film. But the actors in this, they're not anybody special. I didn't note any particularly outstanding performances. And let's get into In a Violent Nature. Basically, this movie is, it's like an exploration of the horror slasher genre, right? And when I say exploration, I mean it delves into the different tropes, like there's like how the slasher comes to be, how the mythology around the killer, that kind of stuff. But we're really seeing all the events play out via the killer's perspective. And the killer's name is Johnny. Okay, it's pretty generic. It's not like Mike or Fred or Jason. It's just Johnny. Johnny is such a generic name, and maybe that was the point, because again, this guy, Chris Nash, he is trying to deconstruct horror films, deconstruct the slasher. So instead of trying to give him a cool, killer name, it's just Johnny, right? And Johnny was a victim of some things. And to put his soul to rest, they have a locket that he's been staked to the ground, buried. And there's this locket hanging on this stake, basically. And these kids take it because they're stupid and they're teenagers, or college kids. They're not teenagers, but they're stupid young adults. So this guy takes the locket because he's going to give it to his girlfriend. And then Johnny rises from the grave and goes on this, killing spree, trying to get this locket back, right? But during the film, one of my only complaints, guys, and I've heard a lot of people complain about this, they're like, all we did was watch a guy walk. Yeah, I mean, we did see a lot of that, but my thing was, I didn't mind the walking as much as the constant sound of footsteps just drove me crazy. The sound of him walking through leaves and grass for an hour and a half was just, oh my God, it was insanity. But that was my only qualm with the film, really, because let's face it, we're not watching a slasher. I mean, now this is artistic, okay, but we're not watching a slasher movie for the acting. We're not watching a slasher movie for the storytelling. We're watching it for the kills. We want to see ingenuitive. We want to see innovative. We want to see kills we ain't seen before, right? We want to see gore. We want to see blood. We want to see guts, because we're gore hounds, right? We love that. That's what us horror movie people like, I mean, so we get that, but we don't get enough of it in this, okay? We don't get enough of the just viscera. Now, the story isn't strong enough to carry this film all the way through. So if you're going to be telling a story about a guy, a vengeful spirit, a wraith, whatever he is, you want to make sure that you keep your audience engaged with some good kills. I can tell you there are there's more than three. There's like four really, really solid kills. I mean, nasty, right? Particularly one with a pneumatic wood splitter. Man, I ain't gonna say no more. You just gotta check that part out for yourself and thank me later. But this was, like I said, this was an artistic horror film. We get a lot of walking. We get a lot of kind of narration, because we're watching like I said, we're watching everything unfold through the killer's perspective, through the slasher's perspective. So when he's, hunting down the kids, you can hear them talking off in the distance, and you really kind of have to listen to understand what's happening in the film, because you're not getting the story from the, I guess, third person perspective of, the camera being in the room with the people. The camera's away from them, picking up their conversations. So I dug that. I thought that was really cool. It was an innovative horror film. Like, the closest thing I've seen that even resembles this movie is The Rise of Leslie Vernon, or Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That, to me, that was a solid film that was from the killer's perspective, right? And I don't know which one I liked better, if I'm being honest, because Leslie Vernon was completely different than this, yet very similar. But this had way better kills, I'll put it that way. I mean, and the effects in this were all practical. Everything was real. It was Caro syrup, it was food coloring, it was grapes that are peeled and painted for eyeballs. I mean, it was genuine practical effects, Guts fall out and you're seeing, red food coloring on hot links. That kind of thing. It was an excellent, excellent film as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to the kills, when it comes to the actual content of the film, it was great. My only complaint was all the freaking walking and him just trekking through stuff and hearing leaves crunching and pebbles crunching and feet shuffling. God, that's enough. That's horrifying in and of itself. I don't even want to, driving me crazy. Wanted to rip my eyeballs out. Not my eyeballs. My ears. I wanted to rip my ears off. My eyeballs too. Why not just rip my whole face off? You know what I mean? It was driving me crazy. But it's a great movie. It really is. I really, really, really liked In a Violent Nature. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I rented it because it hasn't dropped on Shudder yet, but I think I read somewhere where it's going to come out on HBO Max on November 24th, but I ain't waiting that long to see it when everybody else been talking it up to me. So I rented it on Prime Video. It should be dropping on Shudder sometime in the near future, hopefully before November 24th. But keep your eye out on Shudder, here soon, because I have a feeling it'll drop probably in the next month or two. And then, again, keep your eyes open for November on Max, because that's when it'll drop there. But anyway, guys, that's it for In a Violent Nature. Go check it out if you get a chance. I highly endorse it. And if you like my reviews, guys, thank you so much for watching them. And please like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. Let's start some conversations in the comment section, guys. Let's, if you've seen this, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, let's talk about it, guys. But anyway, I'm going to keep making them as long as you guys keep watching them. Peace out, my friends. God bless you, and I will see you soon.